A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Hello and welcome to Tinpot, a Scottish football podcast with myself, Tom, and joined this week, as always, by my two pals, Matthew Strugnall.
Howdy.
And Andrew Guild.
Hello.
We're back with episode 28 of the podcast. I'll just let you know what's coming up and then we'll just dive right in. So, in this episode, we are going to our usual predictor league as we always do, reviewing three fixtures from the weekend's list, and then then also updating the predictor league table. Someone's going to be winning some potato brioche rolls from our sponsor Nooch, whoever tops the table come the end of the year. We will then take a look at the World Cup draw from Friday evening, a quick look at that, and who Scotland got, and then we'll move on to chats about domestic football, the sort of title race within the Scottish Premiership, and then the sort of sack race, if you will, at the bottom of the Scottish Championship and Scottish League One. And we'll round things off, as we always do, with a quiz. And since it is our sort of advent of podcast counting down to Christmas, it's yet again another new formatted quiz, so we can look forward to that at the end. And it's going to be a Matt versus Andrew style quiz again, so someone will be crowned winner.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, indeed. I think that's that covers off everything that we're going to be discussing in episode 28. But before we do that, Matthew, what's happening with you? How are you?
Oh, mate, I've had a bit mixed bag of a weekend. The old ball and chains come down with a throat infection called what was it called? It wasn't it was pharyngitis. Maybe you heard of that? Pharyngitis. Sounds made up, but it's true. It's a throat infection, so she's been bedbound for the last 3 days. So I've been solo parenting two insane children, so that's been a negative. And someone stole my lights from the front garden, so that was also a negative. Some wee jakey bastard. I've got three shitty little solar lights that you put in the ground. They're a bit pointless because the front of the house barely gets the sun, so they don't really work, and they've been shaky for 4 years. But then I just noticed this morning they were gone. Checked in the camera. Saturday night, some boy just walks up and just takes them. Hey, fucking enjoy them, mate. They're absolutely pish. So, cheers, mate. The Tim Hortons is closing near me, so it's become a Greens on the Go, which is like a shop. I think it sells Fisher and Donaldson. So
Oh no, it does. The one in Aberdeen it does.
Yeah, you lose the Timmy's, but you get the Fishers and Donaldson's fudge donut bad boy. So let's play a win. What else happened? I had the big tasty doubles. It was delicious. I had Oreos cereal, which was quite nice. I ordered some stuff off Zara. 2 things fit me. I had to send 2 of them back, so that's been a faff. Other than that, mate, just trying to survive. My man, the kids decided to get up at 5:30 this morning and yesterday morning, so pretty tired. What else? And it's pissing with rain as well, so I had to drive back from mum and dad's yesterday in the pissing rain.
Did you come back with toilet roll in the boot?
My man, Magda's ordered 42 rolls of that bad boy. I've got them just on top of my fridge and cupboards. You open a cupboard looking for some food, there's just a toilet roll falls out on you. There's just everywhere. The thing was, the day before she ordered them, I ordered cheapy rubbish ones, so we're working our way through that first.
Nice.
And then I'll get onto the good stuff. So I'll be single rolling it soon.
Nothing stolen from the parents at all? No cans of juice from Farm Foods or?
Oh no! They've got a box of they've got a box of Quality Street, and they brought it out and said, we can each have one. So we all had one. The kids had one. My dad put it away. I know where he hides it. I'm just going to the toilet. I say, sneak around the back, the back cupboard, couple of sweets, eat them as fast as I can. Back in the living room, all nonchalant. Oh, just been in the toilet and that. I've been doing that since 6, that's 12. Honestly, it's great.
And the funny thing is, you think that they don't know that you do that as well.
Yeah,
they definitely know.
Barty's been at this sweet box again, eh, fat prick. Other than that, that's my life, mate. It's been peaks and troughs. But I wonder. The only thing is, for the last day, the greens. Tim Hortons changed the greens. If they do like a too good to go like mayhem, so they'll just like make all these donuts and then just like everyone just goes and gets as much as they want before they shut the shop. So I'll keep you posted on that.
Oh, please do. A mega haul from Too Good to Go.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, if anyone's built for that, it's definitely you. You'll have a bargain and a sweet treat. It's your wet dream. What about you, Andrew, or should I say Peter Parker? You've come dressed as Spider-Man this week.
I have, yes, yeah, I have. Certainly wish I had my spidey senses on the go because I've been pretty ill over the weekend. But yeah, nasty bug going around the house. So yeah, it's been pretty grim a couple of days. But I did have my 4.5 big tasty on the weekend. So within the space
and that's
of a
why
week,
you're feeling unwell, mate. Alright.
No, it's nothing to do with like my stomach or my butt. It's all just throat.
That's been making you feel better.
Like
I think that's the medicine, no?
Probably, yeah, probably.
He's like a reverse Morgan Spurlock. He like eats it to get better. Like
yeah.
At the end of his week, he's just like feeling amazing.
Get a wee IV of that big tasty sauce, but yeah, no, that's been that really. Kid's been off nursery, so absolutely brutal day, and just trying to put the finishing touches on my wife's 40th. So had a couple of absolute dickheads pull out last minute. So one shan't be named, but the other one was Matthew Struggle. But
sorry, I was an integral part of this party, like performing, and I had a stand-up routine.
That's it. I know. Let's change the whole format.
Yeah, I was a one-man Tinpot podcast. Best bit, but to pull out.
It. I know. So yeah, just been sorting that out. It's bloody stressful sorting a party actually. I can't actually remember the last time I did it. So
you sent me the details, and oh my god, mate, like this is like a fucking complex operation. The FBI need to get involved or something, mate, or the Secret Service. Like.
What?
Yeah, it felt like it.
I'll say no more.
It's not a Diddy party.
No, I mean just in terms of organisation, mate.
Yeah, well, you know, it's.
We don't want the FBI now, but
where the nights go. But yeah, that's me. Nothing exciting. Just stressed, tired, not feeling well. That's it. Full of big tasties.
Yummy.
Yeah, 4.5 in the space of 10 days or something is pretty remarkable.
And has it been consistently good from first to 4.5?
Yep, I have to say.
I think when I got one, they put the Big Mac lettuce on it.
Oh,
I know.
Which one did
you go to? And there was no onions.
What? Nah, that's not even a big tasty, mate.
Well, I didn't ask for that.
Where did you go?
Dulwich, mate.
Dulwich, I went to Dulwich 4 times, or 5 times. But yeah, that's fucking bullshit.
I don't remember tasting onion. And the lettuce did look thin. But you guys were talking about it being some sort of chunky lettuce. Like, not an ice bed, but more like
a... tomato.
Oh, chunky tomato.
And then you've got the onion in there. And then
the lettuce is not the, like... It's like a sort of greener lettuce, you know?
It's not as, like, thin strips as, like, a Big Mac. But, yeah, it's...
Maybe I don't know lettuce. My lettuce game's off. Maybe it was the right lettuce, but I'm just, like... I'm all about the...
That's
meat.
what you're focused on.
Yeah.
Well, you guys kept saying, "Oh, you need to have the salad on the burger, and really good for the ratio."
It's true though. It's true.
Yeah.
You don't have onions on that bad boy. It's not tasting the same. Definitely.
Tam's a convert to the lettuce or salad game. He used to get everything plain, you know, famously.
Famously, yeah. On you go.
Yeah. That's alright.
Rattle off a few.
It's out of context. The listeners will understand. I think I preferred
It's not stopped you before.
The big arch, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
Have a day off.
Yeah, but clearly the big taste is tasty, but it's not in the new, and it is smaller, which I think is unacceptable.
It's fine because it's a double though.
No, Andrew, that's just the principle of it. It should be a double of the original size.
Yeah, but then that's too.
It's not technically a double, then, is it? If you get the patty size and then you flatten them out, how much of an actual double of the meat of the original burger compared to the small burger that they've got on the double? You know what I mean? So say like you've got.
Do you know what? There's only one way to find out. Like next time the big tasty's on, just buy 2 of them.
Wait, so am I right in saying that they're doing a single big tasty and a double at the moment, or is just a double that's out?
No, they're doing a single as well. But
so
the single is the same size. No, the single's the same size as the double bun. So it's a modified Big Tasty. It's like
So
a
you don't buy the single. That's the moral of this
No.
story.
exactly. It's like a Rachel Reeves sort of Big Tasty.
It's a shrinkflation tasty.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. How are you doing, Tam?
It was.
How are you getting on?
Yeah, sorry, mate. I was just
That's all right.
Talking about Big Tasties for like 10 minutes.
I quite enjoy listening. To be fair.
oh god.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. It was obviously a big weekend for the World Cup draw. That was the highlight, and then yeah, just not really done too much else. Watched a lot of football on Saturday. It was back to back. A couple of Scottish games and a couple of English games, unfortunately. Decided not to go down to the Smisa in Paisley. It was on the cards. There were tickets available for an away game, which is not that often it happens for United this season, but I decided against it. 28 quid was saved, as well as fuel money. But yeah, we were going to discuss the draw, so we might as well I've just mentioned it, we might as well just crack on with a wee blether about that. And the pantomime that was, Trump's sort of, I don't know, it was almost like a Eurovision performance, I guess, with all the music going on and the sort of the charades. Like, it was just bizarre.
It was
a bit of a disgrace.
It was a circus. It was a
Circus, that's the
shiny
word.
FIFA from Trump Tower, Infantino's fucking golden handshake with the devil, sort of vibe. Like, it was grim. It was grim. It was a football draw in between a sort of embarrassing clown show of past it performers and terrible presenters and giant men standing beside a really small man, which was quite entertaining to see. Kevin Hart and what was her face? Giselle? No, Patsy Cline. What was it? Who was it?
I didn't actually know who the fuck she
The
was.
woman who presented with Kevin Hart.
I didn't know who she was.
Heidi Klum,
Yes.
the model. Yeah.
It's
You've never heard of Heidi Klum, Andrew?
no,
I've heard of Heidi Klum, but I mean, when I saw her,
Didn't
on
look
the
like
you
night,
didn't
I was just
recognise
like,
her.
who the fuck is that?
It's a tough crowd. They're not a crowd that are there to laugh. They're not there to
No,
laugh. Let's just
no.
get on with it. No jokes or nonsense. No menage. Wasn't not. I was saying menage a trois. I'd like maybe that'd be better. Badarash. No badarash. Badarash. Just get the fucking balls drawn and let's go
Yeah.
home. Give me some
Yeah.
montage of some classic games from the world. It's a fucking football fucking thing. Like, seriously, let's stop trying to. I don't even know who they're catering for. Who are they catering for?
Themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly,
It was
themselves.
horrendous.
Oh,
It was
bloody the village people.
I know, honestly, and the thing is, the
was
village
good.
people wasn't the weirdest thing that happened as well, which was it wasn't even close. Like,
Yeah, that tells you all you need to know.
Robbie
For
Williams,
me,
you
it
look
was-
more phoning it in, Robbie Williams. Eh? Like, seriously, take the money, mate. Like, you used to give a bit of fucking moves,
that song-
That song as well
Shit.
is terrible. So bad.
it was so shit. Like, it was so bad.
Bring
It
back
wa-
Waka Waka.
Exactly, yeah. It's nothing compared to that. But the three
Robbie's
worst
usually a
bits for
bit-
me were Rio. Like,
Oh,
he
Rio.
was fucking like making my toes curl. Like,
He was out of his depth, like, so out of
He's
his
so
depth.
out of
Like,
his depth. Like the
the guy's so
whole
thick that you can't think on the spot. He's just so thick, like, he's
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
You go,
Like,
"No,
the
script,
whole
mate."
build up that was all recorded was cringe as
Yeah.
fuck. And then when it went live, it was just like, honestly, it was like Bambi on ice. It was brutal.
And you've got
Like,
Rio
it was-
Ferdinand, who is historically quite thick, and you have to give him all the permutations. Like, so he's like, wait a minute, group, this can't go into Group G, they got to go into Group C. This team's from Europe, they
Yeah,
can't be with this
yeah.
team from Europe, they got to go into Group F. And I was like, what about it?
In the past, that like position within the draw has always been given to like a FIFA official, some nerd with a tablet,
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
never been a bad thing. The rest
No.
of the people around have always been the guys that dive their hands into the pots to pick the balls out. It's a mindless job that anyone could do. A monkey could do it.
Except for fucking...
Get the
that's
extras
right.
to do that and leave it there. Like simple.
Who's the boy at the end who had all the European
Wayne
teams to read
Gretzky,
it?
yeah.
Wayne Gretzky, yeah.
Yeah, the
He was
great
on a fucking
Macedonia.
Macedonia.
macadamia nuts.
Why would you get the oldest fucking guy to like read all the names there?
It was brutal. Honestly, it was brutal. He was, yeah. The
And
whole draw
Shaquille
was a
O'Neal as well
shambles,
was clearly like he was just loving it. He was like not arsed at all. He was like,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, I thought he was alright. Like, I thought he was fine, and he he was bringing enough gentle humour that it wasn't like a performance or anything. Do you know what I mean? Like he was pretty natural. But what was Rio doing? Like, why? Like, there might be a really obvious answer to this, but why was he doing the draw? Like, he's never won the World Cup, and he's not American as well. Like,
And
so
he's not a
one or the
presenter,
other.
really. Well, he does a podcast, but any idiot can do a podcast as we're
So
coming in the middle of.
We're focusing all of our attention here on Rio Ferdinand's part, and not once have we mentioned Trump's Peace Award.
Oh no,
This was the biggest sham of the whole thing.
I'm talking about this is the starter. Like this is the
The big,
that's the main event. Like Infantino for me was like a little bit in between there. Like he was just it was the Infantino show, but then Trump. I mean, with that award, that award's like 3 times the size of the World Cup. Like it's fucking massive. Like
When he put the medal on himself, like that was so funny.
the medal on himself. It's so funny.
He's like, well done, sir. Well done. The trophy's massive with the big hands like coming up.
Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely massive. Like I bet it's like solid gold as well. Like honestly, I've never seen anything like it. It was.
And then when they made all the like Trump and the Canadian boy and that pick out their own names, like what the fuck? Like seriously,
There's so many
Honestly.
news outlets in America. Fox News ran a big piece the day after it, being like, is the World Cup draw rigged and blah blah. Like they had major concerns because they're like, what are the chances of the Canadian representative, the Mexican one, and Donald Trump all picking out their own names, and then they all happen to stand for a photo opportunity and blah blah. I'm like, if you don't even understand that part,
Yeah,
you're the ones hosting the feckin' tournament, man. Like honestly.
I know.
And then when it was, it kept being like, oh, this team in Group C, oh wait, they're from Africa, they can't go in it. This team for Group C, they're from Africa, and I was like, when's it going to be Scotland? Because we know it's going to be Scotland.
It was inevitable, eh?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like,
yeah. What do you think of the draw then? Obviously, we've got Morocco, Brazil, and Haiti, two teams that we've played in the '98 World Cup, and Haiti, their first World Cup since I think '74. We'll go in. We're in pot 3. Morocco were the second top seed in their pot, so obviously finished 3rd or 4th place in 2022, and have a really really good squad when everyone knows how good Brazil can be. So, a couple of games in Boston, then down to Miami. What's your take? What's your early sort of predictions or thoughts?
I mean, I said about Morocco before, and it was the one that I really wanted us to avoid. But yeah, I can't lie, I was disappointed at the time. But it's only because you're always hoping for your ideal draw. Like that's it. But actually, once the dust settles, I mean, it's something quite magical about getting the same teams that you did all that time ago. You know, so it's quite strange, but it's a good opportunity. You said some really interesting stuff about Brazil in the last pod, and it'll be really interesting to see, you know, if we can actually, you know, deliver some of that, or just at least be competitive there. You know, so it's a draw to really prove ourselves in. It's not an easy one. Haiti are not even actually that easy a draw as well for who we could have got, you know, after kind of looking into how they qualified. So it's a hard group. It's a hard group, but, you know, we wanted it one way or the other. I was really hopeful of an easy group. But you're either on one side of the fence or the other, and I mean, it's a chance for us to make history. So a Brazil team not at full strength. Morocco is going to be seriously hard. I think that'll be harder than the Brazil game. And Haiti, they definitely won't lie down to us, but you know, it's a good chance to prove how good we are.
Yeah, I think Steve Clark summed it up pretty well afterwards, saying it's a great draw because we've got 3 good quality opposition from other parts of the world, avoided European teams, and that's what the World Cup's all about. It's about mingling with fans from different parts of the world and being part of the biggest show on earth, so to speak. So, I mean, in a word, where are we going to finish? Are we getting through that group? Are we good enough?
In my opinion, I don't think so. But I would love us. I'd love us to, but I don't think so. I just don't think so. I think Morocco will be too strong, and Haiti will give us a hard ride. But I think we'll get past them. But I just don't think we've got quite enough to get past Brazil. I think we'll struggle a wee bit.
I think we'll get 4 points, come 3rd or 2nd, and qualify. I don't think we should be too scared of Morocco. I mean, their strengths are when they're the team that's sitting, so I don't know how good they'll be If we sit in, it could be a 0-0 potentially, and then we beat Haiti. And yeah, I think it's quite good. Obviously, I was quite keen to get a relatively glamorous draw. I think it is that. Yeah, I think Brazil are a team to be afraid of. Obviously, Morocco did come fourth at the last World Cup. That was 4 years ago. And I'm sure Kieran Bowie will be starting for us in the summer. Going for so he should man from Kirkcaldy leading us to World Cup glory. So there you go.
God.
It's but we're at that stage of the sort of roller coaster with Bowie again, where he's scored
Nice.
another goal or two, and therefore he's back in the
He's
squad.
good. Josh Mulligan should be in the squad. Right wing back or whatever. He's pretty good. Right winger, centre mid, pretty versatile. He should be in the squad.
Yeah,
Bowie
there's-
from Kirkcaldy.
I think it's
Oliver Burke was born in Kirkcaldy. He scored a hat trick a few weeks ago. We'll bring him back.
Okay, now.
you're obsessed.
Crawford on the coaching staff. Yeah. Dylan.
Yeah. I think the English media, they always say like, oh, this person should be on the plane, this person should be on the plane. I don't want to get sucked into that. I think it's far too early. Like, we can start discussing it in March kind of
I
time.
agree.
We know there's going to be 20 names that are almost, if they're fit, are going to be guaranteed to go, and then there's the 6 sort of interchangeable places. But anyway, yeah, we can discuss that down the line.
Who's tearing their ACL in March? That's the real question.
Oh, don't say that. We don't need that
Scott
put into
McTominay, probably.
into the universe. Nonsense. My early prediction, I want to try and get it in as early as I possibly can. It's December now, just so that when it happens, you heard it here first. Match day 1, we're going to beat Haiti, and Morocco and Brazil are going to draw. Match day 2, we're going to get beat by Morocco, and Brazil will beat Haiti. And then match day 3, Morocco will beat Haiti, and we will beat Brazil. We'll end up on 6 points in second
Love
place
that.
behind Morocco. Brazil to be in third.
Oh, man. Well, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see. And
Telling
to be
you-
honest,
telling you now.
it's doable, though. It's not something that I feel like, mate, you're fucking dreaming. You know, it is kind of doable. So, yeah, be interesting. Be very, very interesting.
Yes, let's end with positivity.
Come on, mate.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the World Cup draw, done and dusted. Moving on to a much more prestigious competition, which is the race for these potato brioche buns and the Predictor League. Let's share some screens for those of you that are watching on YouTube.
You had a bun on Thursday, am I right, Tam?
I had one of the delicious buns on Thursday, yep, and by gum, it does not disappoint.
Was that a Christmas special burger? Or was
It was an off-menu
Oh, mate,
item
you
that
lucky boy.
the chef made for me. Yeah, it was a tofu patty with a bit of ketchup underneath, breadcrumb tofu patty that was deep fried, and with a bit of haggis on top, some pickled onion, and a sort of, I think it was like a whiskey type peppercorny sauce maybe in
Yum.
there as well.
Oh, you're going to
was-
have a good time.
It was exquisite, yeah, real good. Right, Predictor leaderboard. After last week's predictions, the leaderboard looks like this. Tom on 11 points with 3 correct scores, 2 correct results. Andrew and Matt were tied on 7 points with 4 correct results and 1 correct score each. And then we were looking at the following 3 games. Andrew had St Mirren against Dundee United, predicted a 3-1 home win. Matt had also gone for a home win in Ross County Adrionian, going for a 3-2 victory. And then I had gone for another home win, Elgin City to beat Clyde 2-1 at home. We'll start at the top, Andrew. St Mirren Dundee United, what did you make of the game? And what was the score and how many points have you grabbed?
Well. So, yeah, didn't manage to watch the game live for obvious reasons. You know, not a crook. But managed to watch the highlights, and to be fair, the highlights told a completely different story from the stats. That I was looking at the time. St Mirren seemed pretty dominant, to be fair. Certainly in the first half, United weren't carving out many good chances. They did have a 1-on-1 with the keeper, and it was an absolutely embarrassing effort that they didn't manage to capitalise on at a crucial moment as well. St Mirren really scoring from 2 cross balls. Kind of said it in the last pod when making the prediction. The United defence just seems very, very fragile at the moment. Certainly seemed that way in the Rangers game, and Rangers were just really, really poor in attacking sort of third, but St Mirren were just playing sort of good old fashioned football and crossing the ball in and getting results. So that's how the 2 goals came about. A lot of the United fans left after the second goal, which is pretty embarrassing. Don't like to see that, especially when there's a chance, to turn things around. But yeah, after that point, United did create a couple of chances, mainly from corners. There was a half decent shot from the edge of the box, but apart from that, they weren't really sort of clinical enough to try and sort of threaten the keeper all that much. So bit of a poor display from Dundee United, I have to say. I did read a stat today, which I don't know if it's true, but it's 1 win in 10 for United at the moment. So a wee bit worrying for Jim Goodwin there, but this it's not all bad. They're not a terrible team. I just think defensively seem a little bit ropey at the back, certainly in those last couple of games. So St Mirren won 2-0. Didn't get the score completely right, but won it by 2 goals, so close enough.
Is that you trying to blag an extra half a point or a bonus point?
I'll always, you don't ask, you don't get. But almost got it.
Yeah, it's an awful run, and a lot of the United fans are starting to turn on Jim Goodwin. A lot of people think that's
what's your opinion on
it? I think he has more than enough credit in the bank to hang on to his job for at least another couple of months. And the thing is as well, when you say a couple of months, if things don't turn around in those few months, you could be in a relegation scrap at that point, really, really struggling. But then you're going into a really tough run of games on the back of that. Going into a sort of relegation scrap, is bringing a new manager at that point the best thing? I don't think so. So we've got 3 tough games coming up. Motherwell and Celtic are in those, and they're sort of 2 pretty good form teams at the moment. It's we're conceding far too many goals is the problem. I think last season we had a distinct way of playing, which was almost sit behind the ball and counter attack, play long balls into Dalby, and it worked. Defensively, we were really, really good. We didn't score that many goals, but it worked. We finished 4th. This season, we started off to be a bit more of a positive team in the sort of European fixtures and early on in the league, sort of playing a bit higher up the park. And it now feels like we're in between those 2 styles. The players are a bit confused, I think, as to what they need to be doing. When do they press? How where do they keep their line? And when we saw it against Rangers, because there was a clear game plan against Rangers, or there has to be, because they're going to dominate the ball. So it was almost clearer for our players in their mind to sit behind the ball and know what to do, which is why I think we played a bit better in that game. And then you go against St Mirren, which you should be able to take the game to them a bit more, and we just seem to be, again, between those 2 messages. So I don't know, I'm always, no matter who it is, more lenient towards managers than most. So my answer is always going to be, don't sack him yet. But if we're down and about Livingston by sort of January, February time, could be an argument for it.
Well, you've still got double the points that Livingston have got at the moment, so but I mean, obviously it only takes a few games for that to kind of switch around, but personally I would say give him time, but need to really sort the defence out. It's schoolboy stuff at times. Seems just positioning's really quite poor, and not getting the basics right. So that was certainly the case with the St Mirren game. When they had chances or when they scored, it just seemed that they're quite avoidable. Goals. Just so much time to cross the ball in, and then they're kind of. I mean, to be fair, the first goal from St Mirren was a beautiful cross going to the back post. Really good header. But, it was the amount of time that you had to cross that ball in, and then, in the second one, I think it's a cross and then headed down and sort of smashed in after, so, it's basic stuff back there. Have you guys lost a lot of your defensive options that you had last season, or is it much the same, like in personnel?
It's pretty much a full new, like, central defence. Ross Graham's the only one that's really survived. Right. I mean, Yovu, Esselink, Carestes played the start of the season because Graham was injured. Graham's come back in and we don't look really much better for it. He didn't start on the weekend, but the sort of wing back positions are the same though, and that's where our captain is in Ferry. So I don't know, mate. I don't know. I think it's the sort of midfield pairing. Panucci Kamara is brilliant, and so is, I think, Sibbles, and Chevet last year was really good. This year he's not been quite at the same level, but look, there's a long way to go. Long way to go.
Definitely.
And I'd like to think over a course of 38 games we've got more than enough to stay above Dundee, Livingston, and I think I still do think Falkirk will fall away a bit more than where they are. So there's a few teams that I think we can finish above. Kilmarnock probably the other one.
Yeah,
but anyway, yeah, we've what we'll do coming up in the next couple of weeks is we'll release an episode just halfway through the season to review our predictions from before the season started, see where we are, and see sort of adjust our predictions for the end of the season. So that'll be a good sort of waypoint, or
good call.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Anyway, Matthew, we're going to skip you. Actually, we'll come back to you because your game ties into one of our Mr. D Bates conversation pieces, which is the relegation scrap in the Championship. I was looking at a League 2 game between Elgin City and Clyde. It was third versus fourth. Elgin had been unbeaten, I think, for 7 games before kick-off, and Clyde were 11 games unbeaten before kick-off, so both teams were doing pretty well. The first half was easy-peasy. It was, very much sort of not too tense, but from what I saw in the highlights, it just seemed to be tit for tat, and it was Clyde that opened the scoring after the sort of half-hour mark, and not really against the run of play. Either team could have gone ahead at that point. But in the second half, Elgin got their goal after the hour mark. Sort of ever since Clyde's goal, it looked like it was more one-way traffic for Elgin, and then they scored in the 60th minute, and from then on it was severe one-way traffic. They could have scored 1 or 2 more, and probably did deserve to win the game. But Clyde have shown resilience over the last few months in that unbeaten run, and I think in hindsight a draw should have been a prediction, because if you look at both teams' sets of results and how many draws there have been between for those two sides, that probably would have been the safer bet. But yeah, Elgin, I think on another day could have got the victory, but it did end 1-1, which is disappointing for Alan Hale, who was manager of the month in November and got himself and him and his sort of backroom staff a contract extension. So he'll be disappointed, but not a bad result at the end of the day.
Dear me.
Which means 0 points for me, just incidentally. So Andrew gets his 1 point, I get 0. So I stay on 11. Matthew, you were on championship duty as always. It was Ross County versus Airdrieonians. You predicted 3-2 and specifically a last-minute Ronan Hill winner from the penalty spot. How did your game go?
Not like that. It was a 2-1 victory for the away side. Another low. In what has been a season of lows for Ross County. Home defeat to then bottom Airdrie, who leapfrogged County and Queen's Park, I believe. County are at bottom of the league, which is incredible considering they went down in the playoff final after being, 2-0 up in the final? Second leg, a complete catastrophe of a result. I'm not going to get into statistics or match facts or anything like that. I'm just thinking purely on the result. To lose at home to Airdrie is just it's a sackable offence. And the question we will be talking about, or moving on to in the debate section, is when's it too soon? Is there too soon time to sack a manager? Is it clear it's not working? Can you go quick? Can you boom boom boom? 3 managers in one season, 3 managers before the end of the year? I mean, surely not. But the way it's going with the County, Dockery has not got a tune at them at all. They're conceding goals now at 3 against Morton, 2 today, and they've got tough games coming up. Wraith away, next game in the league, then Arbroath and St Johnstone. So I mean, they could effectively be cut adrift the way Airdrie are going. It's worrying times for the boys from Dingwall. But yeah, we can go on to our discussion piece. If you like, Tam, you want to introduce it, mate?
Yes, I'll do that. Just very quickly show you the leaderboard. Matthew obviously gets 0 points for that terrible prediction. And the leaderboard, you've changed from silver to bronze there, Matt. You've gone from joint second into third place all on your own, way down on 7 points. Andrew nudges himself up to second on 8, and I stay on 11. and we've got this weekend's games. Probably got 3 or 4 more rounds of fixtures before the roles get handed over. So you need a few good results in that run of time.
I won't be picking County again, that's for sure. Fuck them. I'm always going to pick them and feel like do well, and they just lose every time. Like, why did I learn my lesson? They're shit.
Back them to lose one week.
And they'll win. So there you go.
And they'll win, yeah. That's the way it works. Aye, so the Mr. D Bates is our big conversation piece, our back and forth, our debate section of the podcast. And this week, it's not just one topic we're debating. There's a couple of discussions within it. And we're going to start with the sack race in the Championship and in League One. Looking at, like Matt's just said, Queen's Park, Airdrieonians and Ross County are down the bottom there. Is it too early? Like, would it be too early to sack Tony Docherty at Ross County? How long should a manager really get? Can you ever get success in a season with 3 managers, or 3+ managers in a season? Those are the sorts of questions that we're asking. So that's the sack race, and then we're going to briefly look at the top division as well, and look at its potential title race, and ask the question: is it a 3-way title race at the moment? Because Celtic slipped up against Hearts at Parkhead at the weekend, and Rangers got a pretty convincing victory on the road at Rugby Park. So those are the discussion points. But since we've just been discussing Ross County, we'll stay in the Championship. I think, how many games that Tony Doc's had now at County? Is it a dozen maybe?
Yeah, he's not
Quite
won
a lot,
many.
yeah.
There or thereabouts, and he's not really improved their fortunes much. They brought in a whole host of experienced sort of Premiership level players in the summer, and I think for most people they thought that would be a good thing. And when you see Tony Docherty getting binned from Dundee and then going into a club like Ross County, who at that point were still potentially in a title race when he came in, they could have been pushing if they'd turned things around, to now be in a potential relegation battle it's a bit surprising. So what's your take, Andrew, on Tony Docherty's position at County? Is it too soon for him to get binned, or do you think he can turn it round?
I mean, I think the form is very worrying at the moment, and I do maybe worry how that's as Matthew said, where that could end up. That could potentially be relegation, which would be absolutely crazy for a club like Ross County. Coming into the season as joint favourites. But you're right. The sort of general complaint has been that they've got a lot of players that are maybe past it. But at the same time, you've got Ronan Hale, Jordan White, Nicky Clark, who are all capable of scoring in the Prem. Gary Mackay-Stephen, who maybe is potentially Championship level, but comfortably Championship level. You've got was it Declan Gallagher? Was it? So he could probably step into a Prem team, in my opinion, anyway. There are other decent players in there: Connor Randall, Ross Laidlaw, etc. I do think that there's enough in there that they just shouldn't be at the bottom. That's it. Should they be competing with St Johnstone at the top with that team? Maybe not. Maybe not. But they shouldn't be where they are. So, if it were me, I think I would probably be thinking about making a change. But it's it is showing loyalty to the manager, which is often complained about, in our game. By allowing him to keep going and try to sort of turn things around. So hats off to County. I know they've already gotten rid of a manager this season, but to be fair, it was very, very early on. So realistically, Tony Doc's had the majority of the season, by a country mile, and nothing seems to really be getting any better. So I don't know.
That proposes a question for me. I'd said it to you in the group chat. If a manager that's proven he's a good manager, like Cowie was, and same with Docherty, they're both struggling with this group of players. Is there a bigger issue with the squad that means you need to take more drastic action, not sacking the manager, but doing something else with that group of players? Is there disharmony, are these players that are sort of a bit older and going to county just trying to pick up a pay packet and live a comfortable life? Because that's what I personally saw at Dundee United when we got relegated. We had a few names there that were just, it felt like anyway from a fan's perspective, they didn't care as much. So could County do something more drastic with their players instead of looking to just sack the manager again? Yeah,
definitely. And the only thing is, if they are going to do that, they need to keep limping on until January. That's the thing, and maybe that is the plan. Limp on till January. They've got some grand plans to invest properly. With the guidance of Tony Dock. Because to be fair, they're not really his players, are they? So. Maybe they're trying to sort of get to that window, allow him to do his thing, and then make a decision quite quickly after that. Perhaps that is the case. But yeah, I suppose time will tell. But the one thing is, County is a team that will spend. They will back a manager. They will try to invest in areas that that sort of playing staff needs support. They've done that, with the experienced players. It hasn't worked out. They'll be spending a lot of money on wages, but I'm sure that they're a well-funded team. I'm very sure that they would be able to go into the January market and do something. Whether they're able to offload in January, I don't know, because it'll be their big assets like Ronan Hale that'll probably be in demand rather than the assets that are maybe not in demand or sort of favourable by the fans at the moment. So they'll have to suck it up for the second half of the season if that's their tactics. But I'm not saying Tony Dock's a bad manager. I thought the appointment of Tony Dock was a fantastic manager personally. So maybe it's just the case he's not got the players he needs, and they need to hit the January window and do some big business. But it's a tough window for a team like County to try and get some quality in.
What do you think, Matt? You're the championship expert here. Your team's in that league. Is it a three-way sort of relegation scrap between Airdrieonians, Queen's Park and County, or the bottom two there do have a game in hand on the rest of the league, and 6 point gap then to Rovers from Airdrieonians, and only a couple of points above that is fifth place. So are we getting a bit ahead of ourselves? And do you think the County fans, if they're calling for Tony Dock's head at this point, I'm not saying they are, but if they are, is that a bit early? Is it a bit premature? Because 6 points across a long season is not very much to overcome.
I don't know, the way it's going, it's not been good, and it's never really been good. Like, it's not as if they've had any sort of immediate success. Their 2 wins have come at home to Wraith, of which they were fairly fortunate to get a win. Wraith had some chances, screaming a draw. They beat Dunfermline in controversial circumstances in the game that resulted in Neil Lennon getting that big suspension after he slagged off the referee. So there were only 2 wins have come, fairly fortunately. There was no new manager bounce. They're conceding a lot of goals. He's trying different formations, different players. They've got a massive squad. I really can't see them doing a big overhaul, which would cost them a fair amount of money. I think they should just cut ties with them now, and I don't know who else is out there, but I can only see it going one way, and that's just down, or the same. It's not. I can't see how it can get any better. And Wraith have made the change. Obviously, they were pretty quick to sack Robson when things weren't going right. So, and I can see Wraith going one way, and that's up under Emery. Whether Morton are going to struggle and be dragged into it, I don't know. But I certainly think Airdrie, Queen's Park will be thereabouts. Ross County, you can keep saying it week after week, and obviously I've predicted Ross County to pick up results. You look on paper and think that squad is significantly stronger than a lot of the teams and most of the teams in the league, but clearly there's something wrong, as you say, whether it be the manager or the players. They've had almost half a season now, a large portion of that with Doc. I think they should have sacked Don Cowie in the summer. I think the mistake was keeping Cowie and giving him the transfer window to bring in players. And
that was really strange. We said that at the time, bizarre decision.
They struggled towards the end of last season. They barely won a game. They obviously had the big chance in the playoffs. They totally blew that. That's what set their season off on really a negative way. There was no positivity. Going into the season, you're thinking, we're favourites to win the league. No, they sort of continued with the same manager. Clearly wasn't working with him, and then Docherty sort of picked up where he's left off. I think they should just give another manager a clean slate. I think
Aye.
I think they've got to be ruthless. The Championship is the toughest league in the world, mate, and that's a fucking fact. So that's what BBC Scotland tell you every Friday night, mate.
Yeah, big time.
I don't think
So
he
you're
can afford to coast like when think, oh, I might get it right next week. I might get it right next week. He's had enough time. Like,
but you're saying that, like, you know, he's had enough time and things can't turn around and all that. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but we've said the same about Aberdeen, and it's not completely apples and oranges you're comparing there, because Aberdeen with their budget should not have been, after 6 games, bottom of the table with 1 point and 0 goals scored. They should have been further up, and Ross County with their budget in this league shouldn't be where they are after 16 games either. But Yimi Tilleen has proven that he did get it. Like, so everyone wanted him binned after 6, 7, 8 games in. It was almost unanimous, I think. And now he's turned it around, and they're one of the best form teams in the league. They're flying. I
mean, that guy has some credit in the bank. Like, I mean, Tony Dock's got no history at Ross County, so it's like
he's got credit in that league and in Scottish football.
Nah, he's never managed in the Championship, so I don't think he will have any. I mean, obviously he was assistant manager at Kelly to Derek McInnes, I believe, when they won promotion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's ruthless, mate. And I think County can't afford to be sentimental or to be like, oh, give him a chance, man. You got to fucking.
But you've had Cowie there and Docherty. Yeah. Which manager are you going to look to come in and improve like that squad of players? I know that's maybe a backwards mindset, just to say, oh, it can't get any better, so we're just going to stick with it. But that's the way I view it. It can. Why can't he turn it around? What's the problem?
What evidence have you given that he can't turn it around? Like, there's no evidence to suggest that any sort of form or any.
What evidence had Jimmy Tilleen shown to turn it around?
Well, you said he had sort of signs of improvement in terms of their defensive performance. He switched formations and they became much more solid, whereas Ross County seemed to have gone the opposite direction under Docherty. They started off relatively solid, but they're losing 3-3-3 to goals a game. I mean, that's not good enough. I mean, Docherty was famous at Dundee for his team to be quite open. They conceded the most goals last season, so I mean, if they can't score more than the opposition, then what's the point in having a manager that's sort of style is to sort of be like that sort of gung-ho? Maybe they need to go for a more pragmatic approach and bring in maybe a more defensively minded or pragmatic coach who's willing to accept the situation and sort of think, let's just get through this season and stay in the league.
I think for where you are now, as a club, I agree with you, but ultimately at the time when they appointed Tony Docherty, to play that attacking football, that you're going to score more than the other side, you will concede goals, but you'll score more than your opposition. It makes sense. The appointment makes sense, and we all said it made sense at the time. So getting rid of Don Cowie, was maybe a bit bizarre, but at the same time, it looked like they had a sort of bigger plan by appointing Tony Docherty, and then also as well they brought in Callum Davidson as an assistant. So this looked like the absolute dream team. But we can't say, poor Don Cowie didn't get the players he wanted. I mean, ultimately, neither is Tony Docherty yet. He's not had a window yet. So, for me, it looks like they're going to limp on till January and then just try and, bring in Tony's players. And from there, it's got to change around very quickly because of where they are right now. But how much worse can it get, between now and January is the big question. There's a lot of fixtures still. I know obviously we're not far away from January, but it's a pretty congested month. So what position could they be in and then having to kind of fight back? I mean, it's clear as day that they're going to be in the Championship next season, at best. But if they don't have a good January window, then that sort of ambition is maybe faltering slightly because they could be in a tricky spot.
Yeah, that's important to remember here, is that we're trying to get Ross County to avoid relegation now. That's the aim. I'm sure that'll be what's been discussed between the board and Tony Docherty now. The aim is now to avoid relegation. It's not. That's totally different to what it would have been at the start, but we're in this position now, and that's all we can hope for. So that and they're not far away from achieving that right now. If there were 8 points adrift or 6 points adrift, I'd understand your point to get rid of him because it's looking really, really bleak. But they're not a million miles away from being safe at all. They've got, like I said, that game in hand, which would take them out of the relegation zone. And I don't know. I just don't see why you would sack a manager of that quality, and so you'd have to spend money to get rid of him.
Yeah,
we all think that Tony Dock's a good manager. Yeah, well, fair enough. He did well in Dundee, but he's only had 2 seasons as a full-time manager, so it's a small sample size. He performed really well with Dundee in the first season where he got them in the top 6, and then perhaps they reverted to the mean in the second season where they sort of finished bottom half and conceded a lot of goals. So could we argue that he had one sort of season, one good season and one mediocre season? So who's to say that he is this sort of, great manager that we seem to be portraying here? He's obviously clearly capable, and he's had a lot of experience in Scottish football, but maybe he's not adept at managing a group of players such as this. He had a lot of young players at Dundee, which he seemed to do well with, and he brought through a lot of good talent with them. So I think it's a bit different coming into a team of maybe egos, I don't know, that are underperforming. He seemed to have struggled to get them motivated to win games. I don't know. I think they can afford to let it sort of drift on like this and hope that he'll turn around. Perhaps
what are you doing, by the way?
So I had a really itchy lip, man. I was trying to itch it without covering my mouth. Like this. I had a tickly bit of my moustache was tickling my top lip. So I didn't want to go there and cover my mouth.
For anyone listening on Spotify, cut to YouTube now to watch that. Sorry, Matty. Yeah,
I lost my train of thought. I was in an absolutely great fucking piece, man. That was going to be an award-worthy talking point. I was just saying, can they afford to let it drift like it has been going? I don't know. Perhaps you're right. Maybe they'll give them the chance to improve things. In January they are quite close, so we'll see. But it is worrying.
So if you're in charge, you're binning them now.
I don't know. Andrew kind of convinced me. I'm like me. I'll be terrible in any position of authority.
Well, to be fair, I've convinced myself as well, because I said at the start I'd probably shift him on, but then really sort of looking at the bigger picture, why has he stayed on so long when they were so quick to pull the trigger with Don Cowie? What are the general problems that everyone's saying? Everyone's saying that it's an aging squad, and that they really could be doing with players that are maybe hungrier or understand the championship a bit more. And you've also, the third thing is, you've got to remember, it's not Tony Dock's players. So
he did bring a few loan players in, but right.
Yeah, but I mean
can they afford to do a whole squad overhaul? They've already got a massive squad. Like their squad's probably
I think key areas though. I think key areas you could strengthen. Definitely. So if they're maybe having those discussions in the background to say, look, if we can earmark these players for January, we'll turn the fortunes around, and that's maybe what's carrying Tony through just now. That's my assumption. It's not what I started off with, but it's my assumption now. So I would say that's maybe the tactic, and see how the January window goes, and they've really got to hit the ground running as soon as that window shuts. Because otherwise they are in deep shit. Yeah,
we're speaking a lot about the overall stats, which do look negative, and the number of goals they're conceding, and the number of games that they've won. There's a few good results in there as well. A draw away to St Johnstone. I mean, a narrow defeat to Partick Thistle. They've got a draw against a reasonably good Ayr side. I'm just trying to find some positives. That 3-2 win against Dunfermline.
Lucky.
And of course a massive Scottish Cup win against Bankside. Can't be overlooked. So
won the Banks.
So we're saying two of us are saying keep him, and Matt's just really hates Tony Docherty and really wants him to.
I'm on the fence again.
Him and his family to have a bad Christmas and get him sacked. Is that what you're saying?
No, but no. I mean, there's not much positives other than they might bring in some players in January. They might improve the team. There's a lot of mights. We're looking at mights to keep in the job, whereas the facts are saying maybe it's time to get rid of him. But I don't know.
Final decision?
Keep him on.
Sack the board.
Keep him on. Oh, all right. Well, we'll come back to the sack race of League One another day. I think we've I think the Championship chat has gone on longer than we'd anticipated. But yeah, Cove and Kelty are miles adrift at the bottom of League One. Two managers, one that's got a lot of credit in the bank at Cove is Paul Hartley. He's obviously done incredibly well with them in the past, and yeah, they think that he clearly is a man to turn it around. We've got Tam Aware at Kelty, who is player manager, and it's his first managerial coaching job, I suppose, so maybe giving him time as well. But we'll come back to that one in a few weeks' time, sort of at the turn of the year, and see where both those teams are, and see if maybe there's been any changes of leadership in those teams. We can have a proper debate. So I don't want to do it. I want to be able to do it justice. I don't want to just cover it off in 30 seconds and just move over it.
Fair.
So just apologies to any League One fans if you're listening that we won't cover that today. We will have 5 minutes on the title race in the top division in Scotland. Hearts now 3 points clear at the top. Celtic, they'll have a game in hand on Hearts. Rangers still, I think, is it 9 points adrift of Hearts, but with a game in hand on them.
Yeah, I think.
And Motherwell up
right,
there as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think 7 points maybe behind Hearts.
Motherwell are the same points as us, actually.
9 points behind, but without a game in hand. Okay.
Gotta give it a hand, yeah.
So Danny Roll has sort of turned things around at Rangers in a way that not many people would have expected, I don't think, for it to be so instant. They've only dropped points in, 2 games in the league? Under Roll, 2 draws, is that right?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right, yeah.
And Celtic have just appointed Willie Nancy, who... Willie Nancy, who, for me anyway, when I was watching it, I'm a neutral in that game to an extent. Just mesmerised that he's sitting there with a tactics board for the majority of that second half when their team are playing so shite, not really creating enough, and he keeps calling McGregor over to the bench to look at his wee tactics board. And we've said this before, Matt, it was your point that Celtic don't need a genius tactician. They just need someone to get the players motivated and get them up for it, because there is such a disparity in the budgets of the teams, the quality of the squads. They don't need someone to tell them every second of the game where to run and where to pass and how to break them down. Just go and play, and that's what Martin O'Neill clearly did. But now Nancy's come in, tried to imprint his style straight away, and it didn't work, and he was outfoxed by Derek McInnes yet again, who's defying all the odds to stay at the top of the league. So what do we think? Is it a 3-way title race with Rangers coming into better form, Celtic now looking like they're not really as hot, and Hearts still doing pretty well?
No, mate, it's a 2. And the Rangers aren't going to get anywhere near the title challenge. That's just stuff of dreams, mate. I don't know. You're right about the Nancy thing. It was a strange sort of game. He changed the formation first of all, which, given that he'd been in the job like a day or something, is bizarre. I would have thought the type of vibe would be just to sort of stick what O'Neill's done and just try to win. I mean, I'm not a football player, clearly. I'm just a man that talks about football, and I don't know anything about being a manager or tactics, but I don't think that you should come into a club and on a great run of form and just change formation and try and come out with a little board with little pieces on it. Just fucking get a fucking 4-3-3, get out to the wingers, just go and have fun and beat your men. And and it was pissing rain as well, and it always looks bad when the manager's standing there getting soaked with his little board. It's not a good look. But other Celtic managers have lost their first games in embarrassing circumstances, tracking Rodgers in Europe against the Imps. So
there's nothing embarrassing about
embarrassing.
losing to Hearts either, I would say, just to caveat that.
No, I just meant their games were embarrassing. That was a difficult game, clearly, and Hearts were really up for it. And we also saw Hearts stuttering in recent games, thinking that could potentially open the door for Celtic to really power ahead. But it's back to being interesting again. I can't see the Celtic stuttering like that again. I think Nancy's a smart guy. I think he'll get it right and they'll win the league.
Okay, so that's a change from your last opinion, which was that Hearts were going to win the league, but that's fine. Everyone's opinions can change, I suppose.
I quite like this guy. I think
you like Nancy after that one game where he looked like a fanny with his wee blue markers on a whiteboard. You are a strange man.
No, I thought that point was interesting. I thought he's an interesting manager. I didn't think he needed to go and do what he did. I didn't think he'd be that. I thought he'd be a vibes man and a tactics man. But he'd know when to, mix the two up. But he went straight with the tactics. For me, it was wrong. If I was a system manager,
and you think he's going to change that now? You think he's going to go back to being what you thought, which was
no,
a vibes man?
I think when he has more time with the players, I think it will click. I think that he was wrong to go in straight away with a sort of idea of changing formation.
We've seen though that at the old firm clubs you don't tend to get time, so he needs to really hit the ground fast, and he's got tough games coming up. He's got the Roma game midweek in Europe, and then he's got a cup final. He'll have an old firm derby at Ibrox around about New Year time.
You're right. It's insane. Why did they employ him now? What the fuck's going on? Seriously, I'm just like, you just said that to me there, mate. I'm just thinking to myself, that's insane. It's insane. You know what I mean? It's insane. Why did they not just let O'Neill do it till January? Alright, I'll scrap what I just said. It's over.
He's reversed. He's reversed again.
Christmas. Tony Dock will be the manager of Celtic. Nancy will be the manager of Ross County. Manager swap.
Oh my god. If we can go back to something you said just at the start of all that, which I asked the question of, is it a three-way title race, and you instantly said no. What makes you think that Rangers with their current form aren't going to be in the title race, but Celtic are going to definitely go ahead and scoosh the league? Like, why aren't Rangers in the title race for you?
Just general luck. I think the role's not impressed me at all. He just had the rub of the green, mate. Should never got that penalty against Dundee United, so there's some points dropped. Lucky draws against other teams, fluky goals, and did you see that first goal against Kilmarnock? I mean, you tell me that was an absolute disgrace. I'm not even joking. Like, what the fuck was going on there? And the boy Bruce Anderson 1-on-1. Rangers have got a bit of luck that perhaps they don't deserve, and I think the luck won't last forever. They'll get a battering one day, and the fans will be back on the manager's case, and we rinse and repeat. So enjoy the lucky ride while you're getting some fluky results, and we'll see how it goes over the long term.
So you're thinking his results have been all down to luck and nothing to do with his skill? No.
I think he's a vibes man. I'll tell you that for a fact. This guy, he knows.
Pick a fucking horse, mate. Oh, Christ.
Right. Anyway,
I think his vibes have earned the luck. Whether that can continue, I don't know. I think he knows how to get players and fans on board in terms of backing what they see on the pitch, and he's a good communicator. I was obviously going over the top with the luck. They have had some luck, but you can't get that much luck over a consistent basis. I just don't think their squad is strong enough at present to really sustain a title challenge. Whether or not that changes in January, I don't know.
So you don't think the squad's as strong as Hearts' squad?
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. No. The way it's
Fair
going.
enough. That's...
Well, I mean, Hearts have Shankland, Braga, and fucking Kuzaridis. Rangers have Miofsky and Blank. So hopefully Blank can maybe do a job next week up front. I don't know.
Mate, they've got £10 million Yusuf Chirmiti. He's a goal machine.
Let Andrew speak about this guy, man.
And it's going to come to Andrew next. He's
what are your thoughts on Chirmiti versus Braga?
He's the only one in this podcast with skin in the game. So, first question I asked Matt was, is it a three-way title race? What's your answer to that one?
Yeah, at the moment it is. Rangers are 6 points behind. So, look, if I'm telling you, if well, there's 6 points if we're on an even keel, which we will be. But
the way your game in hand, mate.
Yeah,
who is the game in hand against? Do we know?
We'll fucking win it. Don't worry. But yeah, I think that I would be much more apprehensive about this if Martin O'Neill had stayed in post for a wee bit longer. But Celtic have got a really hard run at the moment. I think Nancy's getting a really hard time right now. I really do. I think that it was clear. Everyone's shouting at him for changing the formation and all that. It was very clear that Celtic were very dominant in that first half, and his intention was to try and kill the game quicker. You know, if you look at Celtic's results recently, they've been nicking games. So he's trying to put teams away quicker, and he's, what does he do? Does he stay with tactics that allow you just to nick a game, perhaps, or does he try and put his stamp on the game, quickly, dominate the ball, and put teams to the sword in the first half? That's what he was trying to do. It didn't pay off. It didn't pay off, and I'm sure he learned a lot from that. But I think for me that was clear what he was trying to do. He did say, in the interview that he did show that he's quite sort of strong-minded. He said it's nothing to do with tactics. It's nothing to do with the way that he laid the team out. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops, because he's obviously, it only goes one way or the other, doesn't it? It either goes, you're so invested in your ethos and it comes off good, like Ange Postecoglou, or you're so invested in your ethos and it goes terribly wrong, like Russell Martin. So it's kind of one or the other, especially at an Old Firm team where fans are volatile. I mean, Celtic Park, I mean, you couldn't move for bed sheets in there. There was banners absolutely everywhere. Donnell must have had a sale on or something, but it was it was a really, really difficult atmosphere for him to come into in his first game. And if they didn't get off to a good start and they were dragging the game into the second half, which they were, then the fans were going to be tetchy and it was going to be tricky. But he's got a hard run, as I said, so I hope the fans don't just dismiss him too quickly and puts the pressure on, and then that's another sort of manager away out the door. But that could well happen. If he doesn't get a good run over the next few games, they could just easily turn on him, and it becomes impossible to turn around. We've seen the fragility of that mentality in the Celtic squad, under Brendan Rodgers. So, questionably that could then creep in again. For Rangers, look, there's been a huge improvement under Danny Rule, like huge. We're banking points. We weren't really banking much at all. Previously, we look like we're trying to deliver a style of play that's actually possible. He's adapted well to the resources that we do have. Matthew is right, that we do lack in a lot of areas, but he seems to have managed to tailor to that, and is not too stubborn with his tactics, which might be slightly different from the first impression we're getting from Nancy. But yeah, time will tell. Rangers have to have a big January window, which is crazy with the amount of money that they've spent in the summer, but they need a big January to try and set them up for contending for the title. At the moment, they're not quite in it, but if they have a good window, Celtic maybe don't have such a good time with settling in with Wilfried Nancy, and Hearts are a wee bit up and down, then certainly Rangers are in it. But Rangers have got a hard run. They've got Ferencváros, they've got Hibs, they've got Hearts, they've got Motherwell, all this month. So it's a real tough month for them. So this will be a true test to see if they are actually able to try and compete up at the top.
And can Motherwell sneak in as well, Tam, do you reckon? Motherwell on a good run of form?
No, they can't.
Okay.
They're playing good football, don't get me wrong, but they won't be. I think they can definitely finish fourth.
Yeah,
sorry, my laptop charger just fell out.
Yeah, Asco's managing the style versus results. He's getting the results. It's quite exciting time to be a Motherwell fan, I think. Yeah. That's it.
Just big credit to Hearts, though. It's their second win at Celtic Park in over a decade, I think. And I think that's crucial to sustain their... I don't think Derek McInnes or the players will have title challenge in their head at this point. They won't be thinking about that too much. They'll be trying to dampen that in the training ground and in the dressing room as much as they can. But if they are going to sustain a serious push, it's brilliant that they've been to Glasgow twice now and got 2 wins. They've beaten Rangers at Ibrox, they've beaten Celtic at Parkhead, something that no team really ever does consistently. So I think the way that Rangers, Celtic and Hearts are now, I think they'll all take points off each other between now and the end of the season, and it'll be much, much tighter. I think Hearts, I still believe that they'll fall away. I think Rangers are improving. You'll start to see that gap between those three and the rest of the pack open up throughout the next month or two. And yeah, I still believe Celtic will probably go on and win it. But I have been impressed by Danny Rule and Rangers. They've come into a bit of form, and like you say, Andrew, it comes at a good time because they've got a tough month coming up. But so does Celtic. Celtic have got We've just mentioned the sort of Roma and then the cup final and the things like that coming up. But then after that, Aberdeen, Motherwell and Rangers are three of their next 4 games after that. So again, all really, really tough matches. So the way the league table could look at the end of December could be really, really tasty, especially for the neutral as well.
Yeah, it will be interesting. It's probably the most it is the most dramatic season for a long time, isn't it? 2
so
old
far,
managers going. Hearts just rocketing up the table nice and early. With this obviously Tony Bloom model, it's really exciting. And then you've got as you said, Motherwell as well. In there not competing for the title necessarily, but making the top 6 a little bit more tricky. So teams like Aberdeen, Hibs, etc. really need to work for their place this season. So really interesting.
There is a pretty clear divide now, I think, between top 6 and bottom 6. In terms of form anyway, and how the eventual league table is going to shape up. The teams we've just mentioned, Aberdeen, Hibs, Motherwell, Rangers, Celtic and Hearts, that has to surely be your top 6. So the teams playing the best football at this point, and mostly have the biggest budgets. But look, it is exciting, and we'll get into that sort of halfway point review in a few weeks' time. That'll be an interesting episode to record.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. That's Mr. D Bates done and dusted. I think sort of agreement on both debates. I think we're all agreeing that Tony Dock should stay in situ for a while, and we're all agreeing that it's a 3-way title race.
I don't know what I've said, mate. Honestly, I don't know what I said, but yeah, I agree.
You're in a fever dream, eh?
Mate, honestly, I think it's just the classic way I go. I start off 1 point and then I end up talking myself at that point, and then just agree with what you said.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Just giving up.
Oh well, get your game face on for a little sip of that energy drink that you've got, because it's time for a quiz. It's Andrew versus Matt versus the listeners, obviously.
A picture around
It's, well, we can't just do pictures because the people listening on Spotify or Apple Music can't exactly play that way. So we'll do it twofold. I'll show you the pictures just so that you can see them. It's nice for you. But I'll also talk the listeners through it. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you 4 images on the screen of people involved in Scottish football, and you just need to tell me the connection. Simple as that.
Oh, man.
The way I'll do it is, first one to buzz in gets a stab. If you get it wrong, the next person can take as long as they want to try and have a guess. If that person gets it wrong, then it reopens to the both of you until someone gets it, really.
Sweet. Come on.
If you can avoid buzzing in until I've... what's that?
I watch Only Connect on BBC Two.
Oh, damn.
It's fucking tough.
Andrew's in for a tough
Is this
quiz.
the same thing, is it?
Nah, that's fucking solid, mate. Like, that's what... Full of nerds,
man.
bro.
I will read out the names of everyone on the screen so our listeners can hear them. So if you can avoid buzzing in until I've read them all out, that would be great. Your 4 people to start with.
But
are...
Sorry, I'll stop talking.
Shut the fuck up about your stupid quiz show. David Gray, Barry Robson, Craig Brewster, Stevie Crawford. And I will just say, there might be other things that connect them, but you have to find the one that I'm thinking of. So, for example, if you see 4 images of strikers, and you just say, oh, they're all strikers, and I say no, that's because there's another connection that I'm looking for. So David Gray, Barry Robson, Craig Brewster, and Stevie Crawford. What's the connection? Maybe this is going to be too hard.
Absolutely fucking no idea, mate.
Bear Struggers, Bear.
Matt's buzzed in.
They've all lost the Scottish Cup final.
Not what I'm looking for. You're frozen out. Andrew, any
no.
idea?
They've all secretly got ginger pubes.
Yes, that is what I was looking for. I've
Thank
had them
you.
all verified, and here's an image of all their pubes. No, it's reopened. Matthew, you're back in the game.
They all
Yeah,
were affiliated with Wraith Rovers.
No. You're frozen back out. I'll give you two stabs each, and then we'll have to ice it out. And
Oh,
say
not a
what's the
joke
point.
stab. His was a joke as well. Let's start the stab
Okay.
now.
Start restab.
I would have actually taken my first one as a legit.
Wait, one more guess each then.
All
Okay.
right.
Come on, it's definitely gettable. This one's not impossible.
They all have pet cats.
Come on.
I have fucking no idea. Like I can't
Yeah,
think
well,
of anything they've got
Ray,
in
the one
common.
that's throwing me off. Like, I don't
pick
know
one
what
of the
else-
Yeah,
players.
same. It's Gray that's throwing me off as
He's
well.
only played with Hibs. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, what else do they do?
they're
Yep.
all managers. Wait, they've all
The
won.
answer's-
They've all won.
No,
Manager of the
you're-
Month award. Fuck.
No, you're frozen out. Andrew, any idea? Last guess.
They have all racked up over 1,000 club card points.
No,
Damn it.
they
Reveal.
don't all have cats, don't all have ginger pubes, and they don't all have 1,000 club card points. Those were valiant guesses.
Bollocks.
They have all managed the same team that they played for. Quite simple. David Gray with Hibs, Barry Robson with Aberdeen, Stevie Crawford with Dunfermline, and Craig Brewster with Inverness Cally Thistle.
I was thinking
That was
something
close.
along those lines. I was thinking more Wraith Rovers vibes, but
Yeah, see,
Now-
I
now
was
that
going to
you've-
go from pubes to
I'll
this.
take
and
half a
then-
point. 'Cause I thought
Yeah.
about
No,
it.
you won't.
Yeah,
Now
so
Now that
yeah.
you've got a vibe for the game, we'll go on to image number 2. Scott McDonald, Nadir Siftsy, Juninho Paulista, and Robbie Keane.
Come on, solid. This should be only connect, mate. This is harder than only connect. So I need to
What
have
do
a
you
look.
mean? You've just seen them. You've not even had a chance to think yet, and you're saying it's too hard.
Paulinho.
Juninho.
The
Yeah.
fuck, man.
And Matthew's Buzz, yes? It's
Uh,
Paulista, by the way. Juninho
They've
Paulista.
all
right.
worn number 7 for Celtic.
Yes! Well done.
Come on.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Would
Not
have never
even
got that
Chief
in a
played for
million
Celtic. It
years.
was absolutely terrible. It was a disgrace.
Yeah, he was horse shit. Your next set of images.
Oh, yeah.
Alan Maybury,
What a picture.
Jim Layton, Fraser Fivey, and Scott Brown.
How did you think of these connections? Just out of curiosity.
Just off the top of the dome.
Who's the first guy?
Alan Maybury. Oh, I can hear Andrew's pen. He's writing.
That's
Oh,
me.
Matthew's buzzed.
They've all played for Hibs.
Not what we're looking for, unfortunately. Good guess, though.
Fucking no idea.
Matthew was very close. Oh, Andrew's buzzed.
They've all played for Scotland.
No,
Okay.
that's incorrect. It's reopened. I'll try and guide you here. What Matthew said was half correct. Yes, Matthew?
They've all played in Edinburgh.
No.
They've all played
Andrew?
for Aberdeen.
Oh, so close. Nobody gets the points here. It's it's 0-0. They've all played for Aberdeen and Hibs.
Oh, fucking hell. That's a doubler.
Oh, I always forget
These
we've got
doubler.
Britain's ill-fated season at Aberdeen, eh? Bizarre.
Look, the scores after 3 rounds, it's Matthew 1-0, so Andrew
Come
can
on.
still win.
With
Moving on to the
greatest
fourth
shit
set
of
of images. We have Rhys McCabe, Stephen Whittaker, Stephen Naismith, and Stephen Davis. Yes?
They've all played for Rangers.
Not quite as simple as that, unfortunately. No, that's not what we're looking for. Matthew.
Uh,
Oh, and you're frozen out until Matthew's had his shot, I'm afraid.
You know it, actually.
No, I don't. I was just having a laugh.
What's a
Reece
funny
McCabe,
story?
Stephen Whittaker, Stephen Naismith, and Stephen Davis.
Yep. What's the connection?
They've all played for Rangers and won the Scottish Cup.
Not what we're looking for.
Is this a doubler as well? Like, so it has
It's
to be
not.
like...
It's not having played for two teams. I'll give you that clue. It's. We do know that they've all played for Rangers. That one is a given, and it is connected to Rangers in some way. It's got a bit of banter to it. This one.
God's sake.
Fucking no idea. Don't know. Something to do
Any
with...
buzzes from either of you chaps?
Something to do with Sevco.
Something to do with Sevco is not quite what we're looking for.
Fucking no idea, mate.
Matthew, final guess.
They all played for Rangers and a team in England.
Not quite either. No, nobody gets the points here either. What I was looking for is these four players all refused contracts after Rangers were liquidated.
Close,
Well,
actually.
that's not actually true. Reece McCabe wasn't offered a contract, so...
Well,
in an interview that was released last week, so... Get fact
They all
check.
went elsewhere after Rangers were liquidated. Then I'll
Traitors.
rephrase.
Oh, I just changed the answer. No problem. That's fine.
Bloody traitors.
No, nobody guessed the answer anyway. So moving on to the fifth one, it can only be a tie now. 1-0 to Matthew still.
Come on.
This one hopefully won't have.
Pretty draining quiz, this one.
Stop.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, just
Well,
because my knowledge is terrible.
Lawrence Shankland, Jason Cummings, Martin Waghorn, and Stevie May. Yes.
They've all scored lots of goals.
Oh, very close.
But
no.
They've all won the Championship Golden Boot.
Yes, sir. Well done.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Well done, Shuggy.
2-0 to Struggy in the new formatted quiz, the Connections
Tough
quiz.
connections, mate. Some of them were tougher than others.
Alan Maybury. Fucking
Maybury.
Maybe he
Lovely
was,
goal.
he was an Irish international, I think, wasn't he? He played for Hearts and Hibs, one of those players that's made the switch.
Aberdeen.
Tell you what, good quiz. Just need to increase the old ball knowledge there. Very, very poor. Very poor.
Yeah, to
Bloody
2
hard.
points out of
Connections are hard.
5.
Yeah.
Maybe that should have been a team game. Maybe we should have let you team up for that one.
Nah,
Please do my
it's a
two that I got.
point for Shuggy, that's it.
We'll be back on Friday with another brand new quiz format. This is Tuesday's episode. It's Monday the 8th today, dropping Tuesday the 9th. We'll have another episode for you on Friday the... I think that's the... What date is that? That's the 12th, isn't it? I think, yes. 12th. Until then, thank you so much for listening. Matthew, what should our listeners do at this point? What do you want them to do?
Like, subscribe, get push notifications on your phone, give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast, especially Apple. It really helps us out, getting us up the charts, and just have a good time.
Anything
Maybe
else?
get up those charts. Nominate us for a podcast award and Scottish Podcast Award as well. Listener's choice. And yeah, just keep on rocking.
Cool, nice. Yeah, it'd be nice if they let us know how they got on the quiz, I think, as well.
That's
Drop
right.
us a comment.
That's right. If you got
Let us know
more
your
of the
opinion on the title race, the sack race, just on anything that we mention, or if you've had a double big tasty potentially. Yeah. Let us know.
And thoughts on the new Greens moving to Tim Hortons and potentially a Lidl with the old hotel down the road. All the happenings in
That's specifically for people living in Dunfermline, that one.
Yep.
Oh, no,
Near my
Anyway.
area.
See you later. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Goodbye now.